Hello everyone. We are Team Helios. I am Ayushi and my teammates are Shubham, Somavo and Anushka. So beginning with our proposed solution, I would like to start with first of all talking about the customer journey in the current and proposed scenario. So when we did our marketing research in which we talked to about 12 service center operators and truck drivers, we got to know that whenever a customer is facing an issue with their component in their heavy vehicle, their first instinct is to visit a nearby service center or workshop. Now at the service center, the technician might suggest to them that they go for an original component or an unbranded one. Now, if the customer decides to go for an original component, but it is not available at the service center, in that case, they change their mind and decide to go for an unbranded component. Whereas, if the customer decides to go for an unbranded component and the service center has an original component, in that case, they suggest to the customer once more, they try to convince them, they try to pitch in the original component by verbally communicating to them the product details, the differences, and also often use a brochure. Now, when the customer finally makes a purchase, the product arrives and it gets installed. Now, the changes that we suggest in the current customer journey are that, first of all, when the technician is suggesting the unbranded component in the current journey, we suggest that they will tell the customer that they have the original component and they can get it delivered within 3 days. And when the technician is convincing the customer about going for the original product, they not only use verbal communication, but they will also be equipped with a gamified UI, which helps the customer to better visualize the differences between the original and the unbranded product. So, in order to implement our proposed solution, we analyzed the 4 methods of market entry on the basis of 4 factors, which are costs, time to profitability, risks, and autonomy. And after analyzing all these factors, we decided that organic growth and strategic partnership are the best feasible solutions for us. Now, if we talk about the organic growth, then in this case, we propose that an app will be developed which will help the customer to self-diagnose the issue. In this case, the customer will take a picture of the component which is not working properly, and the app will not only diagnose the problem but also suggest in-app purchases of components which are available. In the second case, where we are suggesting a strategic partnership, first of all, we would like to make an app, in-house app, which unites all the service center operators located all over India, which are currently an unorganized sector, into a dealership network. And this will not only help the company to deliver its products to the customers properly, but it will also help build in the credibility of the unauthorized service centers. The second method that we suggest in a strategic partnership is to partner with the existing market players like Go Mechanic, which already provide a range of services to the 4-wheelers all over India. We can partner with them to collaborate and provide, add a tab in their apps to provide services for the heavy-duty vehicles.
So moving on with the first solution that we suggested is strategic partnership. So on conversing with the primary research, we found out that the aftermarket services is primarily concerned with first point of contact and second point of contact. Now what is these 2 contacts? So the first point of contact are the person, those are the kind of servicemen that we interact with. So these are the person who primarily look into the vehicle and suggest some changes. After suggesting, if he or she can't figure out what problem it is there, then that person takes the log file of that vehicle at that point of time and sends to a second point of contact who are kind of specialists in those fields. Now the solution that we suggest here is primarily concerned with the first point of contact. So these servicemen who are currently unorganized, for example, there are like hundreds of servicemen who are located here and there, but they don't know each other. So we are trying to organize them. What are the benefits of XY Corp in this? So XY Corp is the name of the company. So the unorganized sector currently, they have their own establishment. So the rebuilding of establishment is not required, which will like reduce the whole setup cost. And also they have their own clientele base. These unorganized sectors. So XY Corp, when strategically partnership with them, so they will be leveraging their clientele base, and which will again like reduce the marketing or the promotional cost. Now why would they join with us? Like what are the benefits for them? So currently this sector is kind of unsalaried sector. So basically the income that they earn is through the commission basis on per truck basis. So the number of trucks they service, they earn certain amount of money. So what cost structure we are suggesting is we are including a fixed and variable pay cost structure. So in this case, what will happen is during some time of dry season, for example, when not enough trucks are coming, the service center persons will get the fixed pay, which will like prompt him or her to join and partner with us. Now, to proceed with the solution, we need to figure out how many service centers do we need across the country and where will be the service center be positioned. So according to the data collected by TCIF, which is Transportation Corporation of India Foundation, we took this data based on the pollution across roadways. So since we know that heavy vehicles or for example commercial vehicles generate a lot of pollution generally, so these kind of routes was basically would help us to determine which is the most busiest road in terms of commercial vehicles. So based on that, we calculated the roadways distance as 19,880 kilometers, and upon assigning a particular radius of convenience for each of the service center, we came up with the fact that we need 300 service centers which could cater to the country, cater demand of the country.
So moving on to the service partnership model, we have identified two crucial aspects for which we have to propose solution. One is regarding how we will reach to our customers, and second is the integration of these 300 service partnership. So for the first thing, we would develop a digital platform for our customer, where first they can buy our products also for the XY Corp, and they can also avail services like the regular repair or the minor maintenance, which can be done at their location. So one of our technician will go to their location, do the needful job, and if the problem still persists, then the vehicle will be brought to the service location. And for the integration of our service dealers, we would develop an in-house platform where, for example, say a particular part is missing at a service center. That particular dealer can look into the app where that particular part is available in other service center or the nearby manufacturing facility, and can order from them at the earliest. This is done because we have identified that due to the unavailability of part at a service center, the churn rate is increased for the service centers because the customers go to either the other dealer or they buy the unbranded product. So in the implementation part, the supply chain network is one of the paramount importance in our business model, because we are proposing that the missing part will be delivered to the service center in 2 to 3 days. But if it takes longer than that, then that in-house application will be redundant. And the second is regarding the digital literacy, because these technicians might not know how to use the app, the various features of that. So for them, we would conduct regular workshops on how to use this app to smoothen the operational process. So regarding the third is that we would first target the customer who have a fleet of trucks, because they are generally technologically advanced and they know how of the technological requirement. So after that, we would go into the mass marketing. The complete process flowchart of this business model is shown on the right hand side. So moving on to the next, this is the interface of our partner interaction application, which is our in-house application. Our merchant can sign in using the merchant ID, which we will provide, or the phone number. In addition to that, we will also provide the application in the vernacular language, because many of our technicians might not know the Hindi or English. After the successful sign-in, the various products for XY Corp will be visible on the application, like the engine parts, turbochargers, and the technician can also search for a product as per their convenience. And after ordering, they can also see how track the order history. In the order history, they track and they can track their parts. For any additional info, they can also contact us. For example, the technician clicked on the turbocharger. All the product details regarding the turbochargers will be visible. The bar in the yellow shows that the turbocharger is available at XY Corp service number 432, which is just 5 kilometers from their service center. So after placing the order, the turbocharger will be delivered to the service center at the earliest, so that the churn rate for the customer will be reduced.
So here we describe the self-analysis app interface. Now we are trying to utilize the laziness component of a customer, just like Blinkit and Urban Clap does through this app. Now let us assume a semi-aware customer who who suddenly notices smoke coming out of a component. He positions the camera towards the component and then makes the prompt asking what component it is. So after that, he tries to replace the component. Now he moves to the product page that shows the product specifications in the gamified version. Now, shows that the red line denotes the product specifications of the current component and the green line denotes the product specifications of the past component. Now, this is easier for the customer to make comparison between the two components. From this, he can either decide to buy the component directly or seek support in case of installation and insolvence of an issue.
So moving on to the remanufacturing process, we identified that there are currently two bottlenecks regarding that. The part does not reach to the remanufacturing facility. One is that customer does not provide that used part to the original manufacturer, and the second is that sometimes dealer also sell these parts in the local market as a scrap material if they get an additional commission. So to solve these issues, we have proposed some solution. So for our customer, because a particular customer might have a fleet of trucks which uses our engine parts. So for every used part they provide, we will provide them a loyalty program in which in the future, if they will do some servicing of the product, we will provide them a discount. For the service center, we will give them a quarterly target, and on the successful completion of that, we will provide them with the bonuses. As per our secondary estimate, there would be a 40% decrease in our production cost, which would be reflected in for our customer also and for XY Corp also. This will also reduce the carbon emissions of our remanufacturing facility, as thus meeting our sustainability goal. On the right hand side is the prioritization metrics. In the red circles are the ones which are in the high priority, like the building the reverse logistic network from the dealer network to the remanufacturing facility, and in the blue are the low priority, like the new manufacturing facility.
Now moving on to the financial stability or the financial feasibility of the model. So as we discussed, we are planning for three model interpretation. One is the strategic partnership, the other is the joint venture with an already existing players, and third is the remanufacturing. So the cost heads for the strategic partnership also includes the call center basis. For example, as Anushka suggested, we are planning for implementing a support service in case of any issue. So the call center employees will be kind of a technician, but not so much technically sounded. So all those cost heads are calculated, and we can find that for strategic partnership we have 56.64 crores. For joint venture we have 120.04 crores. Now for the strategic partnership, this cost is for 1 month of time, and we are planning to implement this whole model for 3 months. For the remanufacturing facility, the cost head that we calculated was 25.55 crores. So totalizing on the total amount of market penetration that we need, we would prefer to go for a strategic partnership plus remanufacturing, or a joint venture plus remanufacturing kind of model. Now this strategic partnership plus remanufacturing model would give us a total amount of 195.47 crores, and joint venture plus remanufacturing would give us an amount of almost 140 crores. So we might be thinking, why don't we go directly to the joint venture? So in case of joint venture, our autonomy in case of promotional as well as operational decision making might go wrong. For example, if we advertise some products of ours, for example Go Mechanic, so we have to advertise Go Mechanic's name along with ours. So the customers might be knowing Go Mechanic more than us, and thus that autonomy will be reduced in kind of joint ventures. So moving on to the revenue growth that we projected. So the revenue growth in two heads, the organic growth and the remanufacturing growth, is calculated from 2023-2027, starting from 700 crores to 2044 crores. So basically in those cases, the revenue target that we were predicting is reached, keeping the cost that we wanted within the margin. So the model seems to be financially feasible. As for the profit percentage, as you can see, in the starting year, the profit percentage is kind of low, which moves up higher as we move to the later years. So now about the implementation roadmap that we planned. So the implementation we planned in 3 phases. The first one is pre-implementation phase, then implementation, and the post-implementation phase. In pre-implementation phase, what we try is we decide the budgetary requirement and the budget allocation of the 200 crore across all heads are decided, and also division of plans. So basically we have the gamified UI which needs to be made. So we have to book a consultant for that, the technical consultant. So all those tasks will be decided in the phase 1. Now the phase 2 comes with the actual implementation and the launch of pilot model. So the all these decisions that was taken before would be incorporated, and pilot model was launched, would be launched among the known customers, which would give them proper feedback about the quality. So taking into the feedback, we will move on to the phase 3 and into the promotional features. Now we have the product and corrected product. So background remanufacturing process will be running on the actual hardware abilities. Now we have to think of how to promote and how to market our product. So this app needs to be installed by most of the people, most of the truck owners that we currently have. And also after we have sufficient amount of revenue from our in-house or from our organic growth prospect, we can think of partnering with already existing players so that that would give us an enhanced boost to growth. The kind of KPIs that we target here are, in the first phase, we are targeting % of deliverables completed. Second phase, it is market penetration percentage. And third phase is DAU and MAU. The two KPIs that we designed for the first and second pages can be calculated as stated in the formula. For example, the market penetration percentage can be calculated by reach rate and stickiness ratio as described in the formula. Moving on to, so this slide actually shows some of the market research photographs that we did while speaking with several service center and truck owners. Yeah, and thank you. That's all.
Well, thank you, Team Helios, for your wonderful presentation. I would now like to open the floor for a Q&A round with the jury.
Kudos to you. You started first, and it's always difficult to be the first on the stage. So you get an extra marks for that. Good job done. I just have just two basic questions for my understanding. So you're talking about a fixed plus a variable model, and the fixed estimate you've taken 5,000K. So can you help me understand how you're going to calculate the variable, and where did you get that estimate of 5K?
So, so the variable amount that was written as 500 was not an exact 500 amount. So what we thought of as how an average customer, like what amount an average customer spends when it comes to like foreign servicing. So as for an oil change or for major, so it came out to 5,000 rupees. So the variable component that we are currently thinking of is 10% of the amount that he's servicing. So that came up to 500 rupees.
So 10%?
10% of the amount that you will be servicing.
You did rightly mention that one of the bottlenecks is going to be supply chain. How do you plan to address that?
So I believe that for the supply chain, the third-party company should be taken, who would be specially transporting these heavy vehicle engine parts. Because if we would partner with some other, there would be bottlenecks. For example, there would be late delivery. So a third party which would be specialized for XY Corp only, that would be partnered with for the at the earliest, basically the earliest.
Again, good job. As Anupama said, going first is never easy, so you guys did well. Question on the conversion of the current unorganized sector into an organized sector. Tell me more about what are the incentives for the unorganized sector to get organized, and what are you thinking in terms of getting them on board? How does that work?
Yeah, so the primary incentive that we're planning to give is the cost structure that we suggested, the fixed plus variable. So they would have a earning at any point of time. Like they won't go anytime dry in the dry seasons, for example, non-festive seasons. And also to bring them on board, we are planning for training sessions. So they for example, people generally are habituated for working with four-wheelers, like the small four-wheelers vehicle. So to work them with a truck or long-haul vehicles or commercial vehicles, we'll kind of need a training session. So we are planning for regular training sessions as mentioned by Subham.
Also, we have identified that they know only the mechanical part. Basically, if some other new problem persists, they do not know how to solve that. So for that also, we will provide the regular sessions so that they can also see to the new problems which might face in the future.
Okay, but basically you're trying to bring them on the payroll.
Exactly.
Okay,
that is the incentive that we provide them.
Okay, thank you.
Hey guys, so as both Vivek and Anupama said, I think a very good job done. You have begun the Redefine event very well, right, today. So I have a few questions. First is, so I could see a sense of the influencers trying to push the brand, you ensuring that the right quantity is available on the shop so that the mechanic is pushing. Have you thought about any branding activities to be done with the end customers in this whole value chain? Because I didn't see that aspect in your solution. So is this something that you have thought about?
So actually, when we researched, when we spoke to primary customers, so what we found is that currently trucks, they are generally stored in godowns, and each of the person who are kind of truck owners, they own 20 to 30 trucks. So like pitching, and they are not the truck drivers who are currently facing. So pitching through any mode of channel. For example, we first thought of installing billboards on road because trucks generally travel on roads. But truck drivers generally drive the trucks, not the truck owners. So pitching that kind of advertisement is not fruitful for them. So what needs to be done, like when we onboard those unorganized sectors into organized sectors and spread good words among them. So word of mouth promotion is the best promotion that we are thinking of. That is why we couldn't. For example, the service center guys, when they have speak with the clientele of ours, like our capabilities, then their clientele will in turn like move to us and bring all these 20 trucks. So that is how we're planning to go on.
Okay, okay. And the other point is in your reman, right? You have put your calculations. I think one thing that you also need to take care is that when you do a remanufacturing,
Sure.
you're actually also having a lost sale of a new part.
So basically for the calculation, like if we incur the revenue, like if I, oh, sorry, I'm so sorry. If we like calculate the revenue part, so the revenue that we calculated was based on the factor. For example, we considered a price of 35,000 for a product. Now, for example, after 1 year or so, 7,000 rupees worth of product has depreciated. Now the total amount that we have, for example, 27 or 28,000 rupees of product, that is currently fresh with us, and the 7,000 parts we need to correct. But we need to sell this whole product in this 28,000 rupees only, because people generally have negative sensation for the reman products. So that whole thing that you're talking about, sir, is included in the revenue side. Like we calculate revenue based on that. We lowered our revenue by that margin.
Yeah, no. I understand that you have calculated in the revenue, but I'm just saying that you also have a lost sale. So in your revenue, though you are selling a remanufactured product, you're also having a lost sale of a new product. So you're actually losing that 7,000 or 8,000 rupees.
Okay.
Which actually net, if you look at it from a company perspective, also that will be there. But from a sustainability perspective, it helps and makes sense.
Yes, actually we again thought about that. So like based on primary research again, like people generally tend to go for unauthorized product or like non-branded product because they feel that is cheaper. Now a rebranded product, a refurbished product will again be cheaper. So that is why for the calculation we took a conversion ratio. For example, the feelingness ratio, like the truck drivers who are feeling I should take a new product but end up taking the old product, is kind of high because people generally get that for low price, and I will be like intending to go for a branded low price product rather than unbranded unbranded product at the same price.
And just one other point there. So you mentioned that the reman product will be typically a low cost or a low price, or people will be. Have you really given thought to it to say that can that also be sold at a premium? Because at the end of the day, it is a green product. So shouldn't that product also be sold at a premium? From your primary research, could you gather any inputs on this?
Actually, everyone is preferring, in India at least, like the person we got to interact with in Lucknow, so they preferred a lower price for a used product, like they described it a used product rather than a reman product.
Also, I think there are different segments for the new and the rebranded product. The one who purchases new, they will always purchase a new. And the one who purchases the rebranded, they will always go for the rebranded. So I guess the market are clearly segmented, but in India, generally they go for the new product as per our primary research.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you to the jury members here. And I would like to ask the other leaders present here if they have any questions for the team Hellios. Yes, can we have the mic please here? Our management here, William.
Hi, again, very good job done. Kudos to all of you. My question is, you have also, put a proposal of going for a joint venture, something, co-mechanic. So just tell me, what is the thought process? How would that model work?
Yes, sir.
That's, I would like to understand.
Yes, sir. So in order to address the issue, so there were two facets that we analyzed. So first one was going through unorganized sector, unbranded sector that we proposed. So other sector was approaching an unorganized sector is kind of difficult because they are so scattered. Now when we already have some parties, for example, Go Mechanic has the same exact model, but for four-wheelers, small vehicles. So when you have the exact parties, those who have done this job for us, why not just partner with them and reutilize their resources? We have to just train those workers for operating on trailers or trucks, like high commercial vehicles. That training we need, the equipments we need to transfer. For example, we need jacks, like high power equipments, which would be suitable for trucks. So those are the inventory costs that we need. Those we have included in the cost structure. Apart from this, the the base is already established. Like they have already connected with the unorganized sector and established their base for four-wheeler market. That is what we thought for going for venturing with them.
Okay, but why would they do a joint venture with one company? Because they are a multi-brand, portal. So they will sell multiple brands, and
So
why would they like to go with this option?
So that is
Actually, we will also provide the technical know-how of how the things work. And as an OEM, as a XY Corp, we would be having a product which would be better than the others. So I guess the
Actually,
product superiority will also be there.
That is one of our selling point actually. So what we are allowing with our joint ventures is allowing other products to come also. Since XY Corp doesn't manufacture vehicles and manufacture components for the vehicles, so like if for example, some company comes with the vehicles for replacement of its parts. Now suppose that have some ABC company's parts. So whatever service center providers will be providing, because they are getting incentive in terms of fixed salary and variable salary. So what they will be providing is that we have the same component of XY Corp and it performs better. So why don't you try this once and you will know the difference. So that actually increases our sale of the product. So that is what you're trying to say.
Why you are saying it's joint venture? Because practically, why will they do a joint venture? That was my question. Because joint venture means that then they get locked with us, which is against their business model. Yeah.
So like we estimated the whole commercial vehicle industry as like 10 million commercial vehicles are like in this country at a particular time. So it is not it is a very big market to explore. So like we would have a profit share among the joint ventures and us also. So I think that would be an incentive for them to join with.
Also, sir, currently they are operating in the four-wheelers. So even if in the future they would go for the commercial or heavy vehicles, so they will have to partner with someone, or they will have to make their own in-house technology. So I guess the XY Corp will provide the technology which they currently do not have regarding the heavy-duty commercial vehicles.
It's basically an expansion of their business, not conflict with their business.
Okay, thanks.
Any more questions from the other leaders here? Yes, we do.
One clarification, these 300 service centers in terms of, locations you said, these are the franchisee models or the joint venture models location, or they are the company owned service centers?
They are the current unorganized sectors whom are trying to get into us.
Okay, and you also mentioned somewhere, downtime of 2 to 3 days is acceptable. So any research pointed out that customers are willing to wait for 2 to 3 days for parts?
Exactly, yeah.
Actually, generally it takes 1 week for the vehicle to be again in the working condition. So we thought that if the part is brought to the service center in 2 to 3 days, next 4 to 5 days will be done in the implementation of the engine part, so that the customer can get the vehicle in the 1 week time.
Okay.
So generally,
yeah, go ahead.
No, people, like when I spoke to them, people generally say that suppose they own 20 vehicles, so out of them 4 or 5 vehicles are always in the, because trucks are generally used for earnings rather than just for transportation. So 4 to 5 vehicles are always in the go down, like in servicing, among the 20 vehicles. So that 4 to 5, so that is a huge lead time that we have currently. And rather than not obtaining any part, how about we do Blue Dart and bring the part in 4 to 5 days? That was our concept.
Okay, right. Thank you.
So any more questions from the leaders, other leaders here? Well, thank you, Team Helios, for your answers. Please stay back on the stage. We shall now invite questions from our audience. If anyone present here has a question, please raise your hand. We will make sure that you get the mic. Anyone, raise your hand. No questions? All right, so thank you very much. Thank you, Team Helios. Let's express appreciation with a hearty round of applause for them. Thank you very much. Request to take your seats now. Thank you.